That's fit. That's fish. He's running with it. That was like third cast. He still got it. Got it. There we go. Number one. That did not take very long. That did not take very long at all. That was only maybe 3 or 4 casts in. We've got just a little guy. Still a pretty cold fish. I have not been out to this particular pond in probably about a week and a half. So super interested to come out here and see kind of where these fish were at, see how aggressive they were. That is a super good sign. Just a small guy. Healthy little, probably about half pounder. But I'll take it. Absolutely cranked the wacky rig right up shallow in this grass. Let's get him back. All right, guys, number one. Not a giant, but I'll take it. Let's get a nice little release on this guy. There he goes. Well, I'll take it. Just came out here. Wasn't really sure how these fish were going to be biting. Like I said, I was out here probably about a week and a half ago. And these fish were still pretty lethargic. I got a few to bite. Decent day, but they were definitely not quite fully aggressive for that kind of spring, almost kind of pre-spawn, probably around the spawn time right now. So that is a really good sign. The interesting thing about this pond is last time I came out here, like I said, just about a week and a half ago, the water was crystal clear. There was basically no grass up shallow. And now we've come out here after kind of a week of warm weather and some rain. We've got a ton of grass up shallow, and this water is super murky and actually pretty high. The water is filled up quite a bit, and so it's going to be definitely a little bit different. I kind of rigged up my stuff expecting to fish clear, not super grassy water, but this can still work. A lot of times when you have overcast conditions like this, you've got a little bit of grass in the water, a little bit of tint in the water, you can be a little bit more aggressive when you're fishing, because these fish aren't going to spook quite as easily. So I'm going to take kind of one rotation, kind of fish with this little wacky rig, see where these fish are at, see how aggressive they are, and then switch up to whatever bait I think is going to be the most effective, whether that being a moving bait or even like a jig on the bottom. So let's get right back in there. That's a good start though. Is there another bite? No, it's grass. It's very interesting to see this pond so murky. I'd say probably about 80% of the year this pond is pristine and clear, but every once in a while we'll get a bunch of rain and this water will get chalked up a little bit. The fishing definitely does change, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, so you have to kind of pick it apart and see what happens. Something like a little punch rig with a pretty heavy bullet weight that I can go right through this grass, especially as these fish should be moving up to spawn probably just about now. Could be the deal, unless I find these fish to just be a little bit more aggressive, maybe in some deeper water. Then we might be able to throw like a little swim bait out there, paddle tail swim bait or something like that. So I like to fish a wacky rig right off the start, especially in a small pond like this. I don't know what they're biting. This is a bait that's going to catch fish pretty much every time you go out. And you'll be able to figure out, are those fish biting as I'm jerking that up? Is it a reaction strike? Or are they eating on the pauses? Is there something a little bit more lethargic? Do they want something a little slower moving? It's kind of a bait that you can fish in any level of the water column, right up in the shallow water or down deeper if you let it sit, and you can fish it really fast, really slow. That's why I like to kind of start out with this bait. That's a fish. He's got it. Got him. There we go. Number two. A little bit better. A little bit better. There we go. Solid fish right there. Absolutely cranked. Little wacky rig once again. Number two on the day. Haven't been fishing for too much longer. Maybe just 15 more minutes. And we've got number two on the day. Pretty much the same spot. Solid little 1 pounder. I'll take it. Pretty much in the same spot. Same sort of area. Right up shallow. Near some structure. Near some grass. And there's quite a few more actually, just little ones sitting right there in that same spot. That's a good sign though. Solid little fish, definitely an upgrade, nothing too big. Let's get him back in the water though. It's a good sign. All right guys, number two on the day. Definitely a little bit of an upgrade, nothing too special though. Throw him back, there he goes. Pretty much the same spot as that last one. I've probably worked about maybe a third of this bank, maybe a little bit more so far. So Definitely seeming to put together a pattern. Still have about, like I said, about 2/3 of the bank left to fish. Both of those fish, very similar areas, right up shallow, right up in grass, near some structure. But pretty much all the bites I've gotten today have been slowly jigging that bait. I've tried to move it faster. I've tried to move it in some deeper water, even slower in deeper water, and that has not worked. What I've kind of keyed in on is the slower approach in some shallower water, at least higher up in the water column is where these fish seem to be, in some of that warmer water up on the surface. Anyway, let's get back in there. It's a good start. 2 fish. Let's kind of make a full rotation around this bank, switch it up to something else, see if we can't find a big one. Let's get right back in there. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Oh my. Solid fish right there. Solid fish. Oh my gosh. That's not the same one, but another one's got it. Got it. Still a decent one. Not a giant, but I'll take it. Still a nice one. Good fighting fish. There was probably about a 2-pounder that ate my bait and then let go of it as I set the hook. It's still a solid, probably the best one of the day. Came back right after I'd hooked that other fish, next cast after, and he cranked it. A solid, healthy, hard-fighting fish for this tiny little pond here. Nothing too special, but there was definitely a few fish. I wonder if they're coming up to spawn. Maybe this is the male, and that slightly larger one was the female, but I'll take it. Such a cool eat. I watched him just come up and crank that bait. Let's get him back. All right, guys, it's a nice solid, probably around maybe 1.25. Nothing too special, but a hard-fighting fish. Oh! And there he goes. That was pretty sick. It was probably about a 2-pounder. I wonder if those fish were paired up for the spawn. It was probably about a 2-pounder, came over, ate my bait. I think he only got maybe just the end of that bait, set the hook, he let it go, pitched right back in there. That fish came right out of the grass, saw him go right up to it, picked the bait up, set the hook. He was on there. Solid fish. Probably the best one of the day. Similar size to that first one. Once again, nothing special, but that's a good sign. Small little pond. We're getting some decent bites. Let's get back in there. Okay. That's fish. He's got it. Got it. There we go. Little guy. I'll take it. That's number 4 on the day. Pretty cool little eat right where he should have been. Saw a little patch of grass, some reeds, pitched in there. That's number 4, just a little guy. We're just making it around back to my stuff. I'm gonna switch up tactics, maybe try to find a bigger one. That's a nice little fish. Cool little spots on his tail as well as his fin. Probably some sort of parasite or something like that. Let's get him back. All right, guys, pretty much right after that last one. Just a little guy. Get him back in the water. Well, that's number 4 for the wacky rig. Like I said, just making my way back around to my stuff. Switch up rods, switch up tactics, maybe try to find a bigger one, but can definitely tell these fish are a little bit more aggressive than they were last time I was up here at the pond, so definitely a good sign. Let's get back in there. Oh, there's a bass right there. He came right out for the jig. Oh my God. That crappie is so aggressive. Watch this. This is gonna be crazy. That crappie was so dang aggressive. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little wacky rig. It's already pretty beaten up in the middle there. I'm just gonna make a rip right across. Use this thinner end. Rig this up just like that. Nothing too fancy. And this fish is gonna absolutely crank it. Let's see if he's still there. Oh my God. He went right up to it. I'm talking nosed right up. Eat it, eat it. He ate it. He ate it. Got him. Oh my God, that was so sick. That was so sick. I knew this fish was gonna eat it. I threw the jig in. He was super aggressive. Of course, I come back, rip a little piece off my wacky rig. And that is a really nice sized, I believe that's a black crappie right there. Super aggressive right up shallow. Such a cool looking fish. We're actually at the second pond of the day. I'll get back to that in just a second, but let's let this guy go. Such a nice looking fish right there on the little Googan Baits drag and drop. All right, guys, that is fish number 5, crappie number 1 on the day. Let's get a nice release for this guy. Oh. And there he goes. Cool little release right there. I'll take it. I saw a little bass, and of course I pitched the jig right up to it. And this crappie was super, super aggressive. That's how I knew he was gonna eat it. Figured, why not take an already ripped up plastic, rip off the tail end of it, pitch it in there, and of course, he cranked it. But that is fish number 5, as I said, crappie number 1. We've got 4 bass as well. This is the second pond of the day. And I only took probably about 1 lap around that first pond, realized that I did not have too much time left to fish. So I decided to come over to this pond where I know I saw some big bass coming up shallow just a couple of weeks, or just about a week ago. I saw a couple of big bass coming up shallow, getting ready to spawn. So figured, why not come over here, try to figure out a pattern. Not the target species, but I will take it. Still a cool little fish. Honestly, a really nice sized crappie, black crappie, especially for a small little pond. But I don't have too much time. I've got enough time to try to find one of these big fish. I'm gonna take up the jig, probably a little Texas rig, make a lap around this pond, try to find one of these big ones. But I'll take a cool little bycatch for the day. Let's get back in there. All right, guys, well, I know this is kind of an abrupt end to the video, but I am gonna have to leave these ponds right here. Fished 2 ponds, second one for only about maybe 15 minutes. Got on 5 fish, 2 different species, a couple little nice little largemouth, one nice, actually really nice size black crappie. But definitely a good little day of fishing. Nothing too big, but I'm definitely figuring out these fish, at least figuring out how aggressive they are over these next couple of days and weeks. The fishing is only gonna get better as the spawn rolls around. I'll be able to do some sight fishing, some bed fishing, and then after that, just a whole bunch more stuff. So make sure you comment down below. What do you guys want to see next? Some more bass fishing, I'm obviously going to do that. Any other species you want to see me target, any other techniques you want to see me use, challenges you want to see me do, hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. I'll be back posting some more videos over these next couple of weeks as it gets better in the fishing world. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.